Hello, I'm Christopher Mesdor, a first-year pre-engineering student, and I also currently am attending Florida A&M University. Before I start, let me show you a hobby. I like to draw. Yeah, you guys can see that. Okay, I'm going to start by explaining how to graph a trigonomic function. So the first thing you're supposed to do is find the amplitude. The amplitude would be the coefficient in front of whatever trigonomic function you're doing. But the amplitude is not always going to be it. It has to be the absolute value of this coefficient, which in this case is also 2. Okay, from here we can find what each of these values would be, because the base equation would be like the sine of wx plus b. That would be the equation. So first you would find w, which is the omega, and w in this case equals 4, and the phi is equal to 3 pi. With the omega, you can find the period, which I'm using t to represent. So the period is 2 pi over omega, which in this case, 2 pi over 4, which we can simplify to pi over 2. There we go. Okay, and from here we can find delta t, which would be on the graph, it would be all the points that are going to be shown. So delta t would be the period over 4, which would equal pi over 2 over 4, which is pi over 8. Okay, after finding delta t, we can find the phase shift, because the phase shift is here because there's the phi. So for phase shift, I'm just going to write ps, and ps is equal to the phi over omega, which is 3 pi over 4. So with all this information, we can start to graph. What should I make? Okay. Since it's a cosine function, it's going to look something like that. So let's start. The first thing we can see is that the amplitude is going to be 2. 2, negative 2. That's the height and the base of the graph. And from here we can plot the point. So it would start at, let me change this for the purpose of the, there we go. So it would start at 3 pi over 4. So let me change this. So it starts at 3 pi over 4. That's where this hits. Now, each of these points in between is what we use the delta t for. So here would be 5 pi over 8. After that would be pi. So let's see.
Pi 2.
Okay. So I'm going to change all of these, instead of in terms of 4, into terms of 8 due to my delta t. So in terms of 8, we multiply all the 4's by 2, and 3 would be by 2 now. So then this would be 6 pi over 8. This would be 7 pi over 8. 8 pi over 8. Which would just be pi in that case. 9 pi over 8 and 10 pi over 8. All right. Okay. From here, the equation is not over yet. We still have one more thing to do due to this last segment right here, the plus 1. That means we're shifting the entire graph up 1 unit. So that would make this, instead of 2, it becomes 3. And instead of negative 2, the graph now would be negative 1. So now that everything's shifted up, the graph will look more like this. And that's it.